This is Inside Varsity Sports on the Sidelines Football Edition. Hello again, everyone. I'm Lou Brogno alongside his Rich DeCourt. We welcome you to DePaul Catholic High School, the home of the Spartans. They'll make the trip this weekend to Don Bosco Prep to take on the Ironmen in another huge United Division battle between two outstanding teams. And Rich, Don Bosco Prep coming off one of their biggest wins in a long time, knocking off St. Joe's, pulling off the big upset last week, and the Ironmen looking to make it two in a row now here against a tough opponent in DePaul.
Lou, that wasn't just the biggest win for Don Bosco in a long time. That was the upset of the year so far in the state of New Jersey. I'm going to own up to it. Last week when we did this show, we don't really do predictions or prognostications, as they like to call them, but we kind of had it set in our minds that St. Joe's was going to handle their business in this game. Not at all what happened. Don Bosco played lights out, heads up football, and really just got things going at the tail end of the season, like Dan Sabella has preached all year. Shout out to Don Bosco's offensive line. I said it myself. I said they were going to be the weak point last week. They were the strength of Don Bosco. Two juniors, two freshmen, only one senior on that unit. And they played about as well as they could against St. Joe's. But Dan Sabella said it to us earlier here at when we were up at Don Bosco. If it doesn't continue, if they don't continue to be the same guy, keeping it going against DePaul, it's all for naught.
Of course, folks who might have missed the big win for Don Bosco Prep against St. Joe's can catch the highlights, correct?
Yes, we'll have a link right down below. Open up the video description. We'll have the link. Just click it, and you're off to the highlights.
So the Ironmen move on to this week's opponent, DePaul Catholic, and the Spartans have won 2 games in a row. This is a DePaul team this year that's been kind of up and down, hit hard by graduation, 4-3 on the season, but 4 times they've scored over 40 points, 3 times over 50 points this year. This is a team with an explosive offense.
Yeah, this is it's a Group 3 team in DePaul. It's a Group 4 offense that they have. These guys can throw the ball about as well as any of those traditional powers that we see in the state. Andrew Butler does an absolutely terrific job at the quarterback position, and he's got some weapons to work with as well.
No question about it. So DePaul taking on Don Bosco Prep. Well, we had an opportunity earlier to catch up with head coach Dan Sabella, and Rich talked to the Ironmen's head coach.
Yeah, I was proud of the way the kids approached preparation last week and the mindset they took and carried into Saturday. And guess what? The message is the same this week. Got to be the same guy and got to go get ready for a good football team this week and can't feel too good about yourself and got to go play hard again Friday night.
The theme for you guys this year, it's evidenced by the statements made last week, is progression, just getting better week in and week out. What are the core areas that you guys are looking to build on as you make this final push for the rest of the season?
We feel like when we put it all together and play well in all 3 phases, we're a really good football team. I think in some of our losses, we played good in certain areas, but we didn't play complete team ball. It was like we were good on defense, we weren't very good on offense, vice versa, that type of stuff. So it's got to all come together. And it did last Saturday, and let's keep that going.
Let's take a look at DePaul. What have you seen from them on film?
A lot of weapons, especially on offense, really good. Some explosive playmakers in the skill positions. They play hard. They've definitely got good team speed. They're a dangerous football team. They can score a lot of points on you, and they've been there before. They're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Of course, the Ironmen coming off the big win against St. Joe's, and it was a terrific game for their junior quarterback, Jake Robbins, and an outstanding job by the Bosco defense.
Yeah, definitely. Going into Bergen, we knew we could play with them tough. We did. Going to St. Peter's, we knew we could play with them tough, too. We also did. And then going to Joe's, we just, like Sabella said, we were the same person coming in Monday. Did the same stuff we always been doing, and knew we had a chance to beat them.
You look at your offensive line. Those guys are playing, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 freshmen, 2 juniors, and a senior. They took on what is widely considered the best offensive and defensive line in the state and just outplayed them. What can you say as the leader of the offense about the play of those guys that week?
Oh yeah, they played amazing this past week. Pass protection was great. Run blocking was obviously really good too. And we have total belief in them. I know they could really help lead us to the state championship. And,
I want to go a little bit back a few weeks in the year, Jerry. You come into the quarterback role at halftime of the Bergen Catholic game. You know, being thrust into the spotlight, being the quarterback at Don Bosco, all of that comes in that moment. You know, is that just a matter of forgetting about everything that comes with that, kind of just playing football?
Yeah, definitely. Kind of just prepare every week like you're the starter and go into it like you're going to play. And so I was just ready to go when he was called and went out there and tried to help my team win.
So let's talk a little more about progression. You guys are obviously getting better week from week. What can you tell me about how your receiving core and your relationship with those guys has developed as you've been in the role?
Oh, yeah, it's been great. We got 3 really good senior leader receivers, along with Jalen and Kyle, also really good weapons. And, yeah, we just keep on meshing together and getting the timing down with everything.
So Bosco's opponent this week, that high-flying DePaul offense, which has put up some big games offensively and some big numbers as far as scores are concerned. In fact, the last 2 weeks in their 2-game winning streak, 45-12 over Paramus Catholic, 51-13 last week against Hudson Catholic.
Yeah, DePaul can throw the ball. They can put points up offensively. And Lou had a chance to dive into just how they do that, speaking with the head man here for the Spartans, John McKenna.
John, team's playing well over the last couple of games. You won the last 2 games. What are your thoughts going into this game against Bosco?
Well, we just got to keep getting better. We started off with a young team this year, but I can't say that anymore because they have 7 games experience now. So we just got to worry about ourselves and keep getting better as we go.
No, you mentioned you were hit hard by graduation. It is a young team. But as you get to this point in the season now, you've played 7 games. How do you feel about the way they're progressing, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Very, very well. Especially we have 5 sophomores out there starting, and they seem to be getting better every game. They're coachable. They work hard. I'm really happy with their progression so far.
On offense, teams put up a lot of points. Tonight, over 50 points. What's been the key really to this success of the offense?
Well, Andrew's still been great. He's real smart, hard working. He makes the right reads, and we got playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. We got really good receivers. We've got a trio of running backs, and we spread the ball out evenly, so everyone's been a part and everyone's contributing.
Of course, that was Lou chatting earlier with the head man here for DePaul, John McKenna. But he also had a chance to talk with some of the players as well. In particular, the dynamic duo on the offensive side, the junior quarterback Andrew Butler, and one of his favorite targets, receiver Teddy Affle. Andrew, you guys are 7 games into the season now. What are your thoughts on this team from a confidence standpoint, having won 2 in a row heading into this Bosco game?
Yeah, I think our confidence is starting to rise. I think we're getting back up. Went through a little bad part of the season, but these past 2 games have helped get our confidence up and our energy up.
What about this offense? You guys have scored over 50 points 3 times this year, over 40 points 4 times this year. What has been the key to success for this offense? What has made it click?
I think it starts with the coaching staff. They've done a great job preparing us week in and week out. The O-line has been performing really well every week. It's really, we know each other. We've been playing well together, and we've really just bonded throughout the work in the off season. So we know where people are going to be at the time. So with our preparation, we've been able to play really well.
You seem to have developed quite a bit of chemistry with your receiving core. Talk about that a little bit if you could.
Yeah, definitely. This offseason we were throwing a lot, so it started with that. Throughout the summer we've been throwing. They're really talented receivers, all of them, every single one of them, so that definitely helps. I think it's just the repetition through practice. We've been coming prepared every single week, working as hard as we can, and it's just developed a nice chemistry.
Obviously, Bosco comes off the huge win against St. Joe's. They're going to be riding high coming into this game. What are your thoughts about what you guys need to do in this game to be successful? What are the keys for DePaul?
I think the keys are we got to play fast. We got to play physical. They're a great defense. I've showed that all season. So, we really just got to stay true to ourselves and just play as hard as we can the whole game.
Teddy, at this point in the season, you guys are playing well, 2 straight wins. What are your thoughts on your team heading into this Bosco game?
I think we have all the energy. We're starting to get our energy up. We're starting to play as a team. We're starting to take more pride in this, and I think the direction we're headed in a great direction.
Talk a little bit about this offense. 3 times this year, you guys have scored more than 50 points. What's been the key to the explosiveness of this offense?
First of all, it starts off with the O-line, man. I got to give credit to the O-line, and I got to give it off to my my young quarterback Andrew Butler, he's stepping in and delivering the throws. And we have a great receiver core. I think we probably have one of the best receiver cores in the country. I mean, it's shown a lot. So I mean, yeah, yes sir.
Don Bosco Prep coming off the huge win against St. Joe's. Obviously, they're flying high at this point. What are your thoughts on what your team has to do to be successful on Friday night?
I mean, they're a very great team, very tough team, very physical team. I mean, we just have to out-tough them. We just have to secure our tackles and just play strong, and just out-physical, and just out-physical them, and then just play from the start. From the start, we just got to play hard.
Well, Teddy Apple has stepped in rather nicely to that wide receiver position here at DePaul. Last week, 2 touchdown receptions in the victory over Hudson Catholic. And keep in mind, last year, DePaul had a Division I all-state wide receiver in Ronnie Hickman, who is now at Ohio State. So, yes, the Spartans were hit hard by graduation, but a lot of these young players have stepped in rather nicely. And now 7 games into the season, they're not rookies anymore. They're ready for this big moment against Bosco.
No, not rookies by any means, Lou. I mean, it's really a tale of 2 teams here in Don Bosco and DePaul that have just gotten progressively better as the year goes on, and that's kind of what you have to do with young guys. Speaking about that absolutely terrific offense that DePaul has, Teddy Apple is a guy where we will see where the heck he ends up in the college game, but I'll tell you what, he has Division I speed, a home run threat on every play. Just a guy that someone on the defensive side, you have to be aware of where he is at any given time. He also has terrific vertical to go up and take a ball out of the sky, beating a defender anytime in those one-on-one situations. Him and Andrew Butler have just really connected so well this year. And for Don Bosco, just a point to key in on that and some of the other weapons they have here at DePaul. You know, we said it talking to Coach Sabella last week and then this week. The theme for Bosco is being the same guy week in and week out. You're going down to, I shouldn't say down, you're going to face a Group 3 team, but DePaul isn't a true Group 3 team. You know, this is a team with some Group 4 weapons. Bosco just needs to continue to be the same guy, just like they did last week. And for DePaul, a terrific opportunity to face a power like Don Bosco and catapult themselves to the top of the non-public Group 3 playoff picture.
So Bosco looks to make it 2 straight coming off the big win against St. Joe's last week. And, of course, DePaul looking to make it 3 consecutive wins and perhaps catapult themselves into the number 1 spot in the non-public Group 3 playoff picture. And, of course, you can see highlights of the game as DePaul makes the trek up to Ramsey to take on the Ironmen. We'll have highlights next week right here on the Sidelines. That'll do it here from DePaul Catholic High School. For Rich DeCourt and everyone here at On the Sidelines, I'm Lou Brockno. Thanks so much for joining us. Once again, you've been watching Inside Varsity Sports on the Sidelines Football Edition.